Drafting with Numot Modern Cube number 4. Oh yeah. It's late. I'm tired. I just streamed for 11 plus hours, but I'm going to record another Drafting with Numot for you guys. This is the very last day of Modern Cube before Modern Masters 2017 hits online, so let's get this last opportunity to draft some silly things before it disappears until, well, whenever next it shows up. After this video, you guys can expect Modern Masters 2017 videos, but for now, this is going to be the very last Drafting with Numot for Modern Cube. All right, what do we got in this pack? Batterskull, Obsidat, Soren Markov, Garrick Wildspeaker. Those are basically my top 4 picks here. I'm a huge fan of the walkers, and I'm probably gonna wheel both of those, honestly. Soren more likely than Garrick, but I'm gonna take Obsidat here because I found Obsidat to be just insane in this cube. It hits hard, it has a great enters the battlefield trigger, and well, it's a huge body to boot, so I'm gonna go ahead and take that. Probably follow that up with what looks to be a Hero of Blade Hold here. Another very powerful creature that can just win the game when cast, either on turn 3 or turn 4. What other cards we have here? Slaughter Pact, Murderous Cut, Doomblade, but we'll take the Hero of Blade Hold to follow up that Obsidat. And, well, not going to pass up a Sun Titan. I think Grave Titan's definitely the best as far as limited's concerned, but Sun Titan does some major work, can even get some fetches if you pick up some of those later in the game. So I'm going to take the Sun Titan here, passing Flooded Strand, Victim of Night, Valorous Stance. Standalone, Flooded Strand is probably the best card in this pack, but Sun Titan is going to be the pick for me, given the first 2 picks that I have. Alright, not too amazed with this pack here, just very poor pack in general, honestly. There's nothing you're too happy to pick up. I mean, in our colors, we have Visitor, Cloistered Youth, Ambition's Cost, Audric, and Collective Effort. But none of those cards are top tier. None of those cards really stand out and say, well, this color's open. In fact, again, just this pack in general is quite stale. I think I'll just take the Clifftop Retreat. It provides one of our colors. And even though we might not run it, again, I'm not losing anything out here, just taking a piece of fixing, which could pay huge dividends later on. Alright, Windswept Heath is probably going to be my pick. If we can pick up like a... wow, I don't know why the name is escaping me. Godless Shrine. If we can pick up a Godless Shrine, then Windswept Heath has huge potential. Otherwise, Anafenza, Read the Bones, Isamaru, Kokusho are all uncolored. Read the Bones would be my secondary pick here. We're not looking to be an Isamaru or Anafenza deck, so I'll take the Heath and see what happens. Alrighty. Hollowed Fountain, the follow-up to Windswept Heath, maybe. We have a Johnny Goldmane here, which is not too great. Liliana is medium. There's also a Lava Claw Reaches here. Well, I mean, I don't have to play the Obsidat, even though I took it, and Windswept Heath does get the Hollowed Fountain, so I think that's probably the safest play at this point in the draft. I love Obsidat, but might not be the play here, so we'll see what Hollowed Fountain can reap. Alright, pick number 7. Some decent cards for sure. I'm a huge fan of Kolaghan's Command in this cube. I think that card is just amazing, and in fact, I'm going to take it here. I've had some really solid Mardu control decks in this modern cube, and I think we can build upon that if I take the Kolaghan's Command. Otherwise, there's Hypnotic Spectre, Vampire Hexmage, very good. Lots of nice Planeswalkers and other permanents that have counters that you want to kill, and Vampire Hexmage is very nice for that. But I think I'm going to take the Kolaghan's Command and maybe look to not necessarily force Mardu, but see if we go down the Mardu path. Alright, next pack. Pretty late Ral Zarek. I'm also a huge fan of Ral Zarek. There's a Chandra Pyromaster here, which is not the best card for the Mardu decks that I was talking about previously. In fact, Mizium Mortars would probably be a better pick for that, but Ral Zarek is quite nice and definitely something that I might consider taking here. It's going to be between one of the 2 Planeswalkers in any case. And, well, we're only pack 1. I'll stay open and take the Zarek. Alright, Sorin Markov did wheel as expected. Gonna go ahead and jam that up. Passing in a Mary Angel, Maelstrom Pulse, yada yada. I think Sorin is just great. Ooh, and I'm really happy about the Murderous Cut wheeling. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut the Ral Zarek at this point and take the Murderous Cut. Look to build some sweet Mardu Planeswalker control deck, which is gonna happily take the Victim of Night here over the Terramorphic Expanse. Terramorphic is fine fixing, but in a pinch, not a card you're very happy to play. You'd much rather just take any of the other type of fixers. Alright, and an Asylum Visitor here. Probably not playing it, just all of this is filler. Isumaru, again, pretty fillery. I'm not going to play that, so we'll take the Careful Consideration just in case. Liliana Vess, honestly, not a bad pickup here. I think Pyroclasm is going to be better, though. Liliana is pretty medium as far as Planeswalkers go, and Pyroclasm buys you a lot of time versus the more aggro decks. Last pick, Chandra Nalaar, just like Liliana Vess. In fact, probably worse than Liliana Vess. So I'm just going to move that straight to the sideboard. Not a great pack 1, but I did pick up a lot of powerful cards. It's the realm of fixing that's going to really need some help here. But remember, that was just pack 1. We have a lot of time. And, well, we have the bombs already. Let's go find the fixing and the removal spells for the early game. That's what we need now. Pack number 2. And what do you know? Lots of goodies here. Dragonlord Silumgar, one of the better cards in this cube, honestly. Planeswalkers are just overwhelmingly powerful, and you see them time and time again in this cube, and Silumgar stealing them is one of the nicest things you can do. In fact, that's what makes Zealous Conscripts one of the nicer cards as well. If you guys watched one of my last videos where, spoiler alert, I was able to steal the Sorin, ultimate it, and just wreak havoc. Silumgar does a similar effect. In fact, not even till end of turn. We also have Kiki Jiki here. Huge fan of the Kiki Jiki combo. I'm not going to take it, but I think Kiki Jiki is definitely one of the better cards, definitely one of the better archetypes in the cube. Verdant Catacombs does some amazing work, but here it's going to be an easy Chromatic Lantern. This card just does so much work in these type of decks, and it's one of the cards that you're really looking for, so we'll take the Chromatic Lantern. And next pack is going to have an Elspeth Knight Errant here. Again, fits really nicely into my plan of Mardu Planeswalker control. You'll probably notice that I'm not really playing red right now. In fact, I only have the Kolaghan's Command and the Pyroclasm. But this will pay dividends for removal and for some later Planeswalkers, probably. So we'll take the Elspeth here and follow that up with an Nahiri. There's the red card we're looking for. There is the red card we are looking for. Again, another Planeswalker, has a really nice utility. In fact, really good with Ral Zarek. Of course, I'm not currently splashing Ral Zarek, but with Ral Zarek, you can tap down the permanent, and then with Nahiri, you can exile it if it's an artifact or creature. But take Nahiri here. Okay, well, there is a blue card I will splash. I think Ashiok is top 5 cards in this cube. Planeswalkers are generally pretty hard to deal with. One that comes down so early and has such a warping effect is generally going to be something that you want to take. I'm going to have to prioritize fixing after this, but I'm happy to take Ashiok here. Probably move Ral Zarek back into the main and just go some awesome multicolor Planeswalker control, where cards like Wrath of God, which we just got past, are going to be absolutely wonderful. We are passing Drowned Catacomb for some fixing, but Wrath in a deck with as many Planeswalkers as I already have is going to be very good. Happy to take Sorin here. This Sorin is surprisingly awesome. Oof. Okay, you know what? That was an instinct click, but Day of Judgment, Sacred Foundry, and Temple of Epiphany are also very good options here. And let's be real. I probably should take the fixing. Sacred Foundry is fetchable with the Windswept Heath and fixes for 2 colors already. So I'm going to play it smart. I'm going to pass the Day. I'm going to pass the Grim Nemesis. I'm going to take the Foundry. Duress here. Caves of Koilos. Some other good packs, or rather picks. But I should really focus on the mana base of this deck now if I'm going to go 4-color like this, and Caves is perfectly fine for that, just as the Sulphurous Springs are. I don't really like these Pain lands, and I'm picking up the Caves and the Sulphurous Springs here, but it's going to be a necessity to make this deck work. We're going to be sad about that Day of Judgment being passed, but I have Pyroclasm, I have Wrath of God. There are other Wrath effects that I can pick up. Anger of the Gods, Whip Flare, Day of Judgment, Black Sun Zenith. There are things that will work. And again, in a Planeswalker deck like this, highly necessary. Well, I'm not sure how this happened, but we wheeled the Dragonlord Silumgar. I really could use this Oust for some early game removal, but man, Silumgar's crazy. Again, this is the last day of Modern Q, but you should never pass Dragonlord Silumgar. And yet here I am passing it because I already have such good a base of spells, and I just need to take the Oust. Sad as it is, I need to take the Oust there. Olivia, another nice creature that I could take, but I think here instead I might actually take the Flicker Wisp. It does look like I'm going to be heavier white than any other color, and Flicker Wisp works pretty nicely at resetting Planeswalkers. Unfortunately, it's a return card trigger at the end of a turn, but it still has some nice value. And I'm already pretty high on 4-drops. This pack has nothing for us. We're not going to play Essence Scatter when we're just splashing blue. Herald of Torment. Let's move that to the sideboard. Looking for some more early game interaction. I'm probably ending up cutting this Flicker Wisp. Ooh, Creeping Tar Pit was a good wheel. Looking for more cheap removal and more fixing. That's basically all we need for pack number 3 as we close up pack number 2 here. Drowned Catacomb, perfectly fine. Ooh, I could also take Lightning Helix. You know what? Because Drowned Catacomb produces blue, which is like a very, very light splash, I think Lightning Helix is going to be a better pick here. The life gain is great, and wow, that Day of Judgment, getting it 14th pick here in the second pack was a godsend. That is going to help us immensely. Holy moly, what a pickup. All right, last few picks here, not so relevant. So, Windswept Heath finds both Hallowed Fountain and Sacred Foundry so far. What do we have in pack number 3? We have a Volt Charge, which should wheel, so I'm not going to take it. But Volt Charge is amazing here because it proliferates, and you can proliferate onto Planeswalkers. Other good cards here, we have a Fetid Heath, which is amazing fixing. Marsh Flats, which is decent fixing. Again, it does find all the white sources that we have. Hallowed Fountain, Sacred Foundry, and there's also, swamps that I can pick up. Also have Downfall here, Whip Flare. Basically, I'm going to take one of these 5 cards and wheel one of the others. The question is, what's most important here? And I think the answer is the Fetid Heath. The filter lands, like the Heath, are amazing in this type of deck, right? Because they can produce the double white necessary for cards like Sun Titan, but they can also produce the double black necessary for like Sorin. So we'll take the Heath here, be pretty happy about it, and should wheel something else in that pack. All right, some more fixing here versus removal. So this is another pack where I should wheel something because Forge and Dragon Skull Summit are both great fixing, but then we have good removal in the form of Earthquake, Flesh, and Shriekmaw. Just over a question of which one I think is going to be better. And I think it might be the land pick here. Dragon Skull Summit seems pretty nice, and we could always use some more fixing. I'm not too concerned about picking up enough playables. We're already at 17, and we have most of this pack to go. I'll take the Summit, looking to wheel the Earthquake, and be perfectly fine with that pick. This pack, not so good as far as fixing is concerned, but we do have 2 good removal spells, Journey to Nowhere and Condemn. I think I like taking the Condemn here, It's cheap, it's efficient, it's instant, and it's not susceptible to removal that Journey to Nowhere and other removal is. So I'm gonna take the Condemn and look to continue on our streak here. This could very easily be a Scalding Tarn. What does Scalding Tarn do? Scalding Tarn finds Sacred Foundry and Hallowed Fountain, so it finds blue, white, and red. That's probably good enough here for me. And of course, we can still pick up some more duels in this pack to make this better. If we pick up a Watery Grave, then Scalding Tarn is just great. So happy to pick that up. What are we looking for? More early game removal. That's really all I'm looking for. More early game removal and more fixing. If you notice, we have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 non-basics here in our sideboard. You might be saying Ral Zarek and Ashiok are not worth the splash, and I could just go Mardu. And you would not be wrong, but at this point, I think I'm fully committed. All right, another pretty good pack here. I'm going to go ahead and take Martial Coup as another Wrath effect. Otherwise, Temple of Silence is fine as his mentor. Let's take the Martial Coup. Now, again, this is not a Wrath until you cast it for 5. But I still think it's a good pickup here. I guess I didn't see really many mana rocks, did I? We picked up that Chromatic Lantern, which was great, but I didn't see much in the form of the 2 mana rocks. That could really help us out to get from 2 to 4, which is an important spot in our curve. Wow, I might just take the Gifted Aetherborn here. As weird as this seems, a 2/3 Death Touch lifelink, even though we're unlikely to cast it on turn 2, is still going to be good enough here for me to take. Let's do that. Hopefully this works out. Alrighty, next pick is maybe Faith's Fetters here. It's probably going to be a Faith's Fetters. The card buys you a lot of time. Only other option I would consider is like a Kitchen Finks. Both of these can do some nice work. And in fact, maybe Kitchen Finks is going to be a little bit better here for me. It fills the curve better at the very least, and it can potentially gain a decent amount of life. So, Faith's Fetters, Kitchen Finks. I'll go with the Finks. Now, normally I would take Nicol Bolas, but, well, I don't have the requisite ramp that I would really like, and so Smoldering Marsh is going to be a good pickup here. The Marsh also lets my Scalding Tarn find a black source, so going to take the Smoldering Marsh past the Inquisition. Not be too upset. Wow. Okay, we did wheel a lot of those nice cards. Hero's Downfall. I did not expect Marsh Flats to wheel, but Hero's Downfall, Whip Flare, Volt Charge, Marsh Flats, all supreme here. What does Marsh Flats find? It finds Hallowed Fountain, it finds Sacred Foundry, it finds Smoldering Marsh, it finds everything. It finds blue, white, red, black. Okay. Marsh Flats is the perfect. I'm going to have to take it over any of these other cards. Devour Flesh. Oh, no, there's the Earthquake. Okay, good. Pretty good mass damage / removal spell. Good at clearing lots of creatures. Now, you might be looking at this list and saying it's a pile, and I'm not gonna quite disagree with you, but I think it's going to be better than you think it is. Go for the Throat here, a perfect 23 card for us. Could even play the Skin Render. And, well, okay. Now it's time to consider being smart. Cut the Ashiok, cut the Ral Zarek. That's a great Temple of Silence. Cut the blue cards, and just go Mardu, and probably have a deck that's much better than if I'm splashing blue. Yeah. I'll play it smart here. This is my last Modern cube draft before Modern Masters is online. I think I'll play it smart. I think I'll just be black-white, splash red, which is Mardu. And it's not only going to help our mana base a lot, it's just going to look a lot cleaner. Right? Yeah, this has to be better. Alright, so let's sort these costs over here. Oh yeah. And now all of our red is just splash for removal. And I think that's going to make the deck a lot better. Okay. So let's sort by color. Got some black white over there. Some red. That's mono white and a lantern. And then we have a ton of lands to fix. Fetch, temple, springs, marsh, another fetch. Red white, fetch. Not playing that. Yes, definitely Heath. Definitely Summit. No Tar Pit, Clifftop, and Caves. Okay. So we have 11 non-basic lands that we're running. Marsh Flats finds Smoldering Marsh and Sacred Foundry, so it's perfect fixing. Scalding Tarn finds Smoldering Marsh, Sacred Foundry, so perfect fixing. Windswept Heath finds just the Sacred Foundry and White Source. Okay, so Windswept Heath is our worst fetch, but still one that finds 2 colors. So I'm not going to cut it. Alright, let's find room for 6 basic lands, shall we? So 3 white, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1 black. This does not find black. So 1 black, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1 red, 2 red, 3 red, 4 red, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I don't actually need a mountain here. And I think I can go heavier on the swamp. In fact, I can go up 2 swamps, right? Because Scalding Tarn still finds marsh and foundry, so I'm pretty sure I don't need a mountain. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, maybe that's too many black sources. Okay, never mind. We can run one mountain here. 6 basics, though. Seems good. And we got some nice Mardu Planeswalker control built up for you guys. So let's save this, and let's go to the very first round. Stay tuned. For the first match here with our Mardu Planeswalker control, we have won the die roll. We're going to play first. And yeah, we're going to happily keep this hand. We have all 3 of our colors. We have double white for the Wrath. We have Go for the Throat and Lightning Helix, which are both very castable. We're going to lead with the Summit because we don't have a swamp or a mountain to make it untapped on turn 2. And it looks like we might be playing against the mono red deck, which is fine. Our deck has a lot of removal for the burn deck, and in fact, we have some decent life gain, right? We have the Helix, as you can see in our hand. We have Gifted Aetherborn. We have... Oh, I actually didn't pick up a Johnny Vengeance. Oh, I have Obsidat. I have Sorin. Okay, yeah. So we have a decent number of ways to gain life packed with all of our removal. So it's going to be a little bit harder for them to just straight burn me out. And, well, as expected, the Fire Drinker Satyr turn 1. I'm going to just pass here and see if they pump it. If they don't, then I will Lightning Helix. 3 to them. 3 to me. And we still get to hold up our caves. Alright. Another Wrath to draw. We're going to need to find that 4th land pretty badly here. End of turn Magma Jet's going to knock us back down to 21. But if I can hit a land untapped next turn for Nahiri, we should be good to go. I have to worry about a Koth. That's like an easy way for us to lose here. Morph in a red deck is probably just going to be a Ire Shaman. And I'm going to go ahead and kill that because if we draw an untapped land, I want to cast Nahiri and just immediately uptick. Beautiful. I'm going to go ahead and pay the 2 life here. Definitely think it's worth it. And I'm going to discard one of these Wrath effects, which the opponent might be happy about, but we need to find some more lands or relevant creatures, like the Gifted Aetherborn. And Gifted Aetherborn is like a double effect here, as returnable with the Sun Titan. Boros Wrecker, not so scary for me. I'm actually going to discard the Martial Coup here. And, well, we drew a Kitchen Finks. So I guess we will go ahead and just cast that out instead. Didn't hit a land drop for the turn, but that's still fine. Nahiri's on 8 now. Let's see, what's the scariest thing that Nahiri can get for me? Creature-wise, it might have been the Sun Titan, right? We'll see, though. Oh, boy. Oh, my opponent stole the Kitchen Finks instead of stealing the Nahiri. Are they just going to attack Nahiri now for... Oh, wow. Okay. If they had stolen Nahiri, they would have been able to ultimate her, but now I get to attack for 3, wrath the board, and get my Kitchen Finks back. So, opponent might not have realized the interaction of Zealous Conscripts with Planeswalkers, but I am not going to complain. Oh, geez. Also, if our Kitchen Finks dies again, I can get it back with Sun Titan, which is probably just game over. Alright, Figure of Destiny, the play for the opponent. And a pass. So there's nothing in my graveyard that I can return yet with the Sun Titan, but I'm going to attack here with Kitchen Finks, and if they had block with their figure and make it a 4/4, which they have the mana to do, then I get to return my Kitchen Finks back, gain 2 life. So I'm kind of baiting them into the attack here. And it looks like they might have taken that bait. Perfect. And now we will happily just jam the Sun Daddy and get our Kitchen Finks back. Now, I'm going to need to find a removal spell for that figure, because if they have another red source, or a white source even, then they can make that Figure of Destiny an 8/8 flying first strike. But currently my clock is still faster than theirs. They can't actually attack with the figure, even if they make it an 8/8. Given the fact that I'm at 25 life. Looking to be in pretty good shape here. Mutavault on their board. I suppose if the opponent had stolen Nahiri and Ultimate, then they wouldn't be able to attack with their creatures because of my Kitchen Finks, but maybe it was the same effect either way. Alright, Thunderbreak Regent for the opponent. Whew. We drew a Victim of Night, so I'm going to go ahead and attack in here with the Sun Titan. Nothing to return. Oh, they didn't block. Well, that is also A-okay with me. And we get to cast Gifted Aetherborn here off of the Fetid Heath. Again, the filter lands are so powerful in a deck like this. Just able to produce double white or double black in a pinch is insane. I've drawn pretty well, though. I've drawn a Wrath effect. Well, actually 3 Wrath effects, but discarded 2 of them. Multiple ways to gain life. And lots of nice spot removal. But that's basically all my deck is, so maybe that's not too surprising. Alright, an attack for 4 and pass means I'm going to go ahead and Victim of Night the Figure of Destiny here, end of turn. And now they do still have the Mutavault as a blocker. Oh, but wow, I just drew another nice one. We're going to go ahead and play the Elspeth. We're going to go ahead and uptick on the Gifted Aetherborn. Now if they kill it in response, I can return it with a Sun Titan. If they don't, then I get to gain 5 life. Either way, not the best place to be for the opponent. Okay, so they are going to go ahead and stoke the flames, my Gifted Aetherborn. They're going to have to activate the Mutavault as a chumper here. And again, we're going to get that gifted back as a result of the Sun Titan trigger, so pretty good spot overall. And when you finish the game over your starting life total and you're playing against the mono red deck, I'm going to say that's generally a good sign. Now, versus the red deck and on the draw, cards like Sulphurous Springs and Caves of Koilos become a little bit worse. In fact, we have a lot of damage in just our lands, but given our sideboard is so poor, I don't really have much of an option to change it up. I could bring in Asylum Visitor as just like a 2-mana 3/1 blocker, but I think I've built this deck in a way that we're pretty good versus the mono red deck, so we're probably just going to reship it here and go to a game 2 versus them. Game 2 on the draw versus mono red. We have an okay hand, which I think is fine to keep, especially since they mulliganed. Scalding Tarn goes and gets our Smoldering March, which means we have access to all 3 colors already, and any land lets us play some nice removal spells here. Okay, Dragon Skull Summit wasn't a bad one. I'm actually going to lead on Plains here, though, because I'd like to condemn their Zurgo if possible. Just preserve our life total. Next turn, Scalding Tarn gets Smoldering Marsh. Oh, and the opponent apparently kept a 1-lander and did not get there, so hopefully we can leverage this position. They did find their second land, though, and Irish Shaman face up is going to be the play. All right, and now we can go see what we want to get here. Yeah, and now we're going to get Sacred Foundry instead, just for that double white, since we found another black source anyways. Play our Swamp, hold up Kolagon's command, pass the turn. I'm going to go ahead and take a hit here, because if they play another creature since they hit their land, I'd rather just use Wrath, or rather Day of Judgment, to wipe their board and get a 2-for-1, and still hold on to my Kolagon's command. And that paid off very nicely. Get a nice 2-for-1 here from the opponent. Pyroclasm, not an awful draw. Figure of Destiny, the follow-up for them. Land for me. And honestly, I'm just going to pass the turn here. They can level up, make it a 2-2 end of turn. And if they make it a 4-4 on their turn, then I'm just going to Kolagon's command in response and make them discard a card. As many 2-for-1s as I can get is just going to make this game gravy. Now, if they don't level up, that means they have a creature to play, and Pyroclasm is going to get some extra utility. And so now I'm going to save the Kolagon's command again. Go ahead and Pyroclasm their board away this time for an extra 2-for-1. And we'll play the Gifted Aetherborn post-combat, or rather, post-Pyroclasm. All about accrue and value. Alright, they Burst Lightning me end of turn. That's probably not a good sign for them. If I don't hit a land, I can Elspeth uptick on my Gifted and gain 5. It looks like they Collective Defiance. Alright. Did not hit a land, though, unfortunately. So we're going to have to just Elspeth, make a dude. Hopefully, we get to hit a untapped land next turn to Sun Titan our Gifted Aetherborn back, but we'll see. Ooh, Hellrider, the hit from the opponent now. Pretty good one. I'm going to go ahead and happily block with our Soldier token. We'll see if they want to damage us, which I think they should. Yeah, versus attacking Elspeth here. So now even if I draw a land, I'm going to want to just Skin Render there. Hellrider away. Okay, and they're Hellbent, so unless they top deck like Thundermaw Hellkite into 4 damage burn spell, we should be okay. What did you find? What did you find, my friend? Zurgo, not gonna cut it. Flicker Wisp, but not an amazing draw. I can always Kolagon's command back my Gifted Aetherborn, but I don't have the triple black to play it anyway, so we're going to uptick on the Soldier token, put them on a 2-turn clock here, and just Flicker Wisp our Skin Render to kill their Zurgo. And that'll be game. Opponent scoops it up, and we have a quick 1-0 victory versus the mono red deck. Let's see if we can continue our good streak and pull out another trophy here. Our second match with our Mardu Planeswalkers. Won the die roll. Gonna play first. Ooh, and this is a hand I'm a little bit reluctant to keep. I need to hit runner land. I guess it doesn't have to be runner since I have 3 draw steps. I'm going to keep this on the play versus unknown, but if they're playing a more aggressive deck, this could be a problem, but let's hope to find some lands here. I get to go Sacred Foundry into Smoldering Marsh, which has all of our colors, but again, if we don't hit our land drops, it's going to be a little bit awkward. In fact, I was supposed to probably play Smoldering Marsh turn 1 because this is guaranteed to enter tapped, whereas I could pay 2 life if I really wanted the Sacred Foundry. Okay, Mountain was a great draw. Obviously, any land's going to be a great draw with this hand, but play our 2 lands to start off. Hope to find some more lands in our future, and indeed we do. All right, so this is a nice turn 4 Hero of Bladehold, and if I hit another black source, then we get to have the Obsidian on turn 5. Opponent could be on mono black. Mono black is a pretty popular archetype in the Modern Cube, and quite good, honestly. Looks like they are playing some form of multicolor. Ooh, Kolaghan's Command, extra value here. So I'm going to target their Coalition Relic end of turn and make them discard a card. You and that. And this is one of the reasons why, and you've probably heard it on some of my other videos, I really like Kolaghan's Command in this format. If you kill an artifact, it's so good. You're able to, kill small creatures. Discarding a card or getting back one of your creatures is just extreme value. The card has amazing utility. And as you can see, it was a nice 2-for-1 there. We did find a Fetid Heath, which is amazing. It actually means I get to cast Sorin on turn 6 if we hit another land drop. But Hero of Bladehold into Obsidat is going to be great, especially when the opponent's taking their turn off to cast an Ambitions cost. So let's hit the opponent here for 7. Now, attacking with Hero of Bladehold online, you want to make sure that your tokens are created first. So you stack the pump trigger on the bottom. And then you play your Obsidat. Let's make a black-white with that. And we will go ahead and drain 2 and then exile it. And it will come back and say good things to us. And it's going to be very, very hard for the opponent to win this game. Because even if they have a Damnation here to Wrath my board, the Obsidat comes back on my upkeep, drains them for 2. I get to attack them for 5. And then if I have an untapped land, Sorin drains them for the last few points of life. This deck is awesome. Again, I love the Mardu Walkers in the Modern Cube. You just have access to so many good Planeswalkers, so many good removal spells, and, well, fixing permitting, you get to do just amazing things. So opponent's going to scoop it up there on turn 5. And versus black, red. I'm not actually sure. I don't think they're aggro per se. They were running the Ambitions cost and Coalition Relic. We did see the Prophetic Flame Speaker from them as well. But again, our sideboard is so medium. Our main deck is already so good that I think we'll just ship it back and try to crush them the same way we did the previous game. Game 2 versus red-black. We are on the draw, and I'm going to go ahead and keep this hand. It only has a red and a colorless source, but that already gives us access to Pyroclasm, and any black or white source is going to mean that I have all of the cards in my hand available. So let's keep this. It is a slightly greedy keep, yes, but again, we're on the draw, and this hand could pay huge dividends. All right, well, Condemn, not exactly the card we were looking for. But again, any black or white source, and we should be in good shape. Okay, Elspeth, a little bit awkward. With 17 lands in the deck, though, you should find a land within the first 3 draw steps. So finding a plains or a swamp, or rather any black or white source is going to let us cast out this Kitchen Finks. Awkward. And instead we found an Earthquake. I'm going to have to discard a card here if I don't Earthquake for 1, but I think Earthquake might be too important to discard, so instead I'm going to discard this Pyroclasm. And I say that because the Pyroclasm doesn't hit players like the Earthquake does. Of course, slightly awkward and unfortunate, but here we are. Alright, there's a black land for us, which means we get to cast our Kitchen Finks here. Now, it's going to be bad for us if the opponent has a removal spell, because while Kitchen Finks is usually pretty sticky, pretty resilient, because they have the Liliana, if they're able to kill the Kitchen Finks the first time, then the Liliana can just finish it off afterwards. If they don't, and I draw another land, I get to cast Elspeth and hopefully hit Liliana for 4 damage. We'll see what they have, though. Yeah, Henny's Expertise, okay. So that'll kill Kitchen Finks the first time. Let's see if they have anything to cast off of the Expertise. And remember, Liliana will finish it off. They have a Palladium Mirror, okay. So I'll probably just have to Earthquake here to kill the Palladium Mirror. Would really like to hit another land. Although I suppose Chromatic Lantern might be too important. Yeah, let's cast out the Lantern. If they want to attack with the Palladium Mirror, I'll happily condemn it. But they already had so much access to mana because of the Coalition Relic that I guess taking them off 2 more is not drastically relevant. The opponent's been forgetting to uptick their Coalition Relic too, which could be relevant. 5 mana, Thunder Maw, Hellkite. Okay, that's fine. We can condemn that instead now, and I imagine they're just going to attack with both of their creatures. We might be able to pull this one off. Perfect. All right. So condemn here on the Thundermaw, and then Earthquake next turn to kill the Palladium Mirror and knock down Liliana off of ultimate range. Oh, did they forget to use... I think they might have forgotten to use Liliana too. All right, well, we're getting a little bit lucky. But just going to go ahead and Earthquake for 3 and redirect to Lily. And pass the turn. Seems like we might have pulled out of this one. Liliana does a pretty good job of just negating Elspeth, though, doesn't she? Uh-oh, 6 mana. Chandra now. Okay, this is going to be an issue for us. I don't really have a good way to deal with opposing Planeswalkers, unless I'm already ahead on board. Yeah. I mean, I'll give this one more turn, but this is looking quite grim. Another Mardu. Oh, maybe not Mardu. Another black-red Planeswalker deck is giving us some major issues. Okay, so I'll probably end up cutting one of these Wraths and putting in the Asylum Visitor as just a random creature. Oh, wow. And a Sarkhan. Okay, we'll go ahead and scoop this one up. It looks like this might be the mirror match, except for the fact that the opponent is playing only 2 colors, whereas I'm playing 3. But in a matchup like this, a lot of my cards are poor. So I think we cut the Wrath. In fact, I might even just cut the double Wrath. The Aristocrat's going to be amazing here because of the 4 power and the haste. And I think I'll bring in another just decent flyer here as well. Everything else seems fine. Like, they still have creatures. Maybe the Pyroclasm is not at its best here, and I can just bring in the Asylum Visitor instead. But I think we want to cut some of the removal spells in favor of just some random creatures. So let's try that for game 3. Okay, game 3 versus the red-black, well, looks like Planeswalker deck with our Mardu Planeswalker. We're on the play, and this is a keep. Not great, but a keep. This is a turn 3 Herald of Torment, and if I find a red source in the first 3 draw steps, then a Falconwrath Aristocrat as well. Windswept Heath does find Sacred Foundry, so that fits the bill. There's our red source. Sun Titan getting back Herald of Torment, also not too shabby. Let's go ahead and get that Foundry. We'll play the Fetid Heath. We will add double black, and we will play the Herald. I might actually Martial Coup for a little bit before playing out the Aristocrat. just because that means I can sacrifice some random tokens that I don't really care about to give the aristocrat indestructible, which could be, well, very, very nice. Okay, another swamp from the opponent and a dreadbore to kill my to kill my herald. Sure. Yeah, I just don't think we're supposed to run out the aristocrat by itself, so instead, this doesn't look amazing, but I'm going to martial coup for 2. Also, we are 1 land away from Sun Titan getting back like Herald of Torment, which is quite good. No plays from the opponent is not something I'm upset about. If they just pass here with 4. I mean, I guess they do have 6 cards in hand, though. All right, at this point, aristocrats a go. Notably, these tokens are soldiers and not humans, so the aristocrat is not going to get pumped up if I do sacrifice one of them. I think I like just pushing the damage here, though. My hand leans towards aggression. 4 mana here from the opponent. Trying to murderous cut. All right, well, let's sacrifice a soldier to make it indestructible. Get in for 5. Sun Titan getting back like Herald of Torment next turn, if I'm lucky enough to hit a land, is going to be plenty of fodder for the aristocrat too. So that's good. If I don't draw a land, then something like a Elspeth would be good. I don't know. I have a decent number of 6s that I could draw that would be very, very sad. Ooh, a Thundermaw Hellkite from the opponent is going to trigger, potentially dealing 1 to my aristocrat, but instead I will sack a soldier token. Wow, that's a beating. We'll see if the opponent wants to try and race here. And indeed they do, all right. Okay, lands a go. So I'm just going to go ahead and attack for 4, play the Sun Titan, pass. I think that's going to be pretty good. Let's get the Herald instead of the Windswept Heath. And hope this is good enough. This is a scary game. Very scary game. We know the opponent has a lot of powerful cards. All right, 3 mana from them. I imagine they kill the Sun Titan before all else, though. Oh. Fake out. The pump fake. 3 mana, Kolagon's Command. Okay, so I'm going to sacrifice the Herald of Torment here in response. Because, again, the Herald is returnable with our Sun Titan. Ah, and then a Magma Jet. Alright, well, in response to the Magma Jet, I'm going to sack the Falconwrath Aristocrat itself so that they don't get the Scry. I'm still going to have to discard Oust, which is fine. But now they don't get a Scry. And I still get back my Herald of Torment here. So we'll attack for 6 next turn, put him to 5, get our Herald of Torment back. A Ruthless Ripper? That's actually kind of sad face versus my Sun Titan. Oh, okay. I can actually just kill them here. Earthquake for 5. And then attack them for 6. GG. Well, if they don't have Slaughter Pact, we're golden. If they do, we die. But I have to go for it. It's too good not to. There's only 1 card in the format that blows me out. Yeah, and it looks like we did get there indeed. Oh, I guess I wouldn't even die to Slaughter Pact because Herald of Torment blocks their Thundermaw the following turn. All right, beautiful. And quickly, a 2-0 versus the field, and let's see if we can get that coveted 26 trophy, pushing my lead to a little bit higher. So stay tuned for round 3, which will pop up in a second for you, but like 10 seconds for me. Stay tuned. The finals, the third match with our Mardu Control Walker deck. We are on the draw, and I think this is a keep versus the unknown. Obviously, I would like to hit another black source on the first 2 turns, but this hand's fine, honestly. It has all 3 of my colors, and can do some stuff. The one and only. The real Kenji? Well, I'm not Kenji Samura, who is probably the real Kenji, but I'm another Kenji. I'm the Nummy Kenji. How about that? Does that work? Alright, what do we not want to see from the opponent? Who knows? Uh-oh. Duress? How about a Thoughtseize? Alright, well, that's not what we wanted to see. And they took my Elspeth. Fair enough. Still going to lead with a Swamp here, just in case we do hit another black source for that Gifted Eitherborn on turn 2. Well, that's a little bit awkward. Alright, we'll play the Temple of Silence here. This lets us play either Gifted or Flicker Wisp next turn. And I'm actually going to bottom Murder's Cut. I think I'd much rather just draw a Planeswalker. And we have other removal spells in the deck, so it's not like Murder's Cut is going to be the save me that I really want anyways. Ooh. Alright, Skin Render's going to be pretty good for that Spectre. But I will trade it away with Flicker Wisp given the option. So we'll play the Flicker Wisp, we'll flicker our Temple, and we're going to bottom off of the Scry. If they let me block, I will happily do so. Not Flicker Wisp. Skin Render will still probably find another target later on. And I'd prefer them not to eat any of my cards if possible. Alright, that's a dandy. Trade's a good. And a Read the Bones from the opponent. Okay, so that means they are taking a turn off. Now would be a perfect time to draw... do I have Nahiri? I think I have Nahiri, right? A Planeswalker. A 4-mana Planeswalker. Victim of Night. I guess I will accept a removal spell. Alright. We'll play that Gifted Eitherborn. We'll play our Sacred Foundry tapped. I'll go ahead and take a peek at what they did with their land or cards. Double bottom. Okay. Well, that means they didn't like what they saw, which is, I think, a good sign for me. But again, another mono black deck. Hopefully we can make the same beating that we did. Oh, is this a Mind Shatter? Oh, Profane Command for 3. Alright, that is acceptable. Kolaghan's Command, a lovely draw, but we will spend the turn playing old Skinny on their Spectre. 4 cards left in opponent's hand. In fact, what can we do here? I can Kolaghan's Command, return my Flicker Wisp, and then flicker my Skin Render. Seems like a good play, should they play anything with 3 or less toughness. 4 cards in hand pass, though. That's a little concerning. I guess I'll just attack for 3. Play the Caves and pass. If they don't do anything, I don't need to do anything. I have position on the board, and I'm winning on life. Ooh, Abyssal Persecutor. I think this is a card a lot of people undervalue. They get scared of the text that you can't win the game and your opponents can't lose the game. But it's a 4-mana 6/6 flyer. I'll go ahead and just make it a Victim of the Night. Martial Coup, also a very solid draw. Alright, Hero's Downfall will take care of that Skin Render, and now we are free reign to go ahead and just pop off this Martial Coup for 5. Get some lovely tokens to start the beatdown. Again, Kolaghan's Command in our hand, going to be quite good. That looked like they cast an Ever After, but I could not tell for sure. Indeed it was. Alright, Ever After returning both of their critters. So, I think we're going to Kolagons command them. Return Skin Render to our hand. And make them discard a card. And now, afterwards, I get to Skin Rend their Spectre and bash in for 4. What did they discard? They discarded a Victim of the Night, okay. Let's take care of the Night Veil Spectre. And bash in for 4. I don't mind trading off one soldier for 4 damage at this point in the game. It's likely that their Abyssal Persecutor is going to be left on guard duty. Ooh, they are tapping way too quickly for my liking. Grey Merchant for 4, also not too shabby. That puts them back to 13. And in fact, they might even attack with the Abyssal Persecutor now. It's kind of scary. I did bottom a few cards with our Scry lands. So I think I'm not going to Tarn here. And we're just going to pass the turn now. We have plenty of removal to find. But as it stands, that Abyssal Persecutor is just holding us back. It's going to be a battle of the top deck here. And here comes their Persecutor now. Okay, that's a 3-turn clock. They found another good one in the form of Grave Titan. So we need to find one of our Wrath effects. We have Day of Judgment and we have Wrath of God. And, well, that is pretty good. So we'll go ahead and attack in with everything here. I'm sure they will block everything, but we do get in for 1 point of damage, which does make this worth it, of course. As the creatures are all dying. Anyways, they have 1 card left in their hand. And again, a top deck battle ensues. Alright, Temple of Silence for them. Put a card on the bottom. Oh, they have another spell and a Sidisi. I imagine they just let that happen as a 4/6 as opposed. Oh, they are exploiting it. Okay, that's a bad sign. That means it's going to be like a Sholdred or something sick. Because a 4/6 Death Touch on this battlefield is quite good, so whatever they're planning to upgrade it into is probably not going to be good news for me. Again, not going to pop off my Tarn. Alright, I'm not going to complain about a Wrath. I imagine the Wrath is probably going to deal with whatever they tutored for. 6 mana. Oh, they got their Ever After back. Okay. Which gets back their Grave Titan and Sidisi, which means they get to tutor again. I would not be surprised if they got a discard effect and cast it on me now. But they did not. Okay, so now we get to Wrath again. This game is crazy. We get to Wrath again. Oh, you know what? They probably just... They have a chain, don't they? They just get to keep searching for Ever After. Yeah, so I imagine we're just going to see Ever After in our future again. Or G-Daddy. Wait, what? Why didn't they get... Oh god, draw Earthquake 1 time. Why didn't they get their Ever After again? That's not an Earthquake. Damn it. We actually had a shot here. If we had drawn Earthquake, or a way to just deal with Grizzlebrand, I think we might have won, but here we are taking 7 and them gaining 7. Oh, this game is crazy. 4 mana. I like that Ever After technique with Sidisi. That's really good, especially when they have the Grave Titan. Alright, they just shot me for 2 with Murderous Redcap. And then Grey Merchant and Sidisi going to finish off the game. Alright, wow. Well, I'm not a huge fan of Ever After, but That card did some amazing work that game. Holy moly. I think the moral of the story is draw Obsidat? I don't even know. Don't get your Elspeth thought seized. That's the moral of the story. I think I'm just going to run it back. I think I just want to run it back here. Although, you know what? Ashiok's pretty darn good versus them, and I do have the Hollowed Fountain, which can replace a Plains. And Hollowed Fountain is fetchable with Marsh Flats, Scalding Tarn, and Windswept Heath, which already gives me 4 blue sources in lands, plus I have the Chromatic Lantern. This could pay dividends. I think I like bringing the Ashiok in here. Oh wait, that's 41 cards. In which case, I'd probably just bring into the Creeping Tar Pit for a swamp too. And cut... What am I cutting? Oh, Pyroclasm seemed terrible. Alright, let's do that. Alrighty, here we go for game 2 versus Mono Black. We are on the play. And this sounds pretty good. Turn 1, Temple of Silence. Turn 2, Gifted Aetherborn. We have some nice top-end cards. Just going to bottom a Sulphurous Springs. We can find better cards to go from there. Alright. No thought seized from the opponent means our Gifted Aetherborn is going to resolve just happily. This Clifftop Retreat is going to enter tapped, though, as I don't have a mountain or a plains. Let's bash in for 2. Then we can make the same play we made last game of Flicker Wisp, our Temple of Silence. Ooh, Phyrexian Arena from the opponent. Alright, well, let's get aggro. If we can kill them before they get any action going, that'll be real nice. We're going to bottom the plains. Might have topped a swamp just to enable Sorin for sure, but let's get aggro on the OP. Tapping 4 very quickly. What do you have, friend? What do you have? Black Sun for 2. All right. Not the worst. We're just going to have to pass here. If I hit a land next turn, I get to Sun Titan, Flicker Wisp, and then Flicker Wisp our Gifted Aetherborn to buy back some time. If I hit a black source, then I just get to Sorin, which I imagine is going to be great. Although we did see Hero's Downfall from the opponent. Okay, Gold draws Vampire, and they level it up once. So let's hit an untapped land here. Alright, I'm not going to complain about Ashiok. We sideboarded in for a reason. And that reason is it's generally going to be great. So I took 2 lands and a Hypnotic Spectre. Not amazing hits, but if they don't have their Hero's Downfall in hand or a Vampire Hexmage, then I can see Ashiok just ending the game here very quickly. Alright, there's their downfall, but Sun Titan does get back Ashiok if we find another land. In fact, hopefully they just level up their Ghoul draws and kill my Gifted. Or play Smuggler's Copter, that's fine too. Land? Perfect. Alright, so now we get to make some sick, nasty plays. Scalding Tarn getting Smoldering Marsh for the triple black. But now I get to Sun Titan my Flicker Wisp. Flicker Wisp my Sun Titan, and then get back Ashiok. Alright. Very sweet lines. I don't get to use Ashiok this turn, but getting back all of that value is pretty darn gross. Pretty darn gross, I would say. Alright, they crewed the copter. I imagine Flicker Wisp is eating a removal spell here. This is fine, though. If they don't kill my Sun Titan, then Sun Titan just does it all again. Okay, they discard Grizzlebrand. They attack Ashiok. One time in my life, no removal spell for Sun Titan. Alright, Victim of Night, darn. Darn, darn, darn. Sulphurous Springs the draw for us here. Alright, well, it's Sorin, I suppose. Kill their ghoul draws. We're holding up Condemn for their Smuggler's Copter. Not looking great. Not looking great. Alright, so Thoughtseize is going to probably take my Condemn. And that means the Copter can do its business as intended. Alright. Earthquake? Maybe not be a bad draw here. They are getting quite low. Oh, they must... I imagine this is going to be a Ever After turn from the opponent. They discarded Grave Titan, and they already have Grizzlebrand in the graveyard, so a land into Ever After would mean they would be able to do that. Sidisi, though. Okay. Sidisi sack the red cap for 6. So, this is the turn. This is the turn. If I can draw Earthquake, we win. Sorin shoots them for 2. Earthquake them for 6. And then Arena to finish them off. Ooh, Obsidat. Okay, that's also a really nice one. God. I think I just Day of Judgment here first, though. I think I Day of Judgment here first. Protect my Sorin. Hit them to 7. They go to 6. And then still have the out of Earthquake just one-shotting them. But this is the turn where we're going to see that Ever After. Most likely. Grizzlebrand and Grave Titan. Okay. We can still win this. We can still win this. I'm just going to need to find a lovely Earthquake off the top of our library. One time, dealer, please give me that Earthquake. Just for daddy. Oh, that's actually an amazing draw too. Wow, okay, so I shoot them down to 4. I Martial Coup away their board, which kills the Grizzlebrand. They go to 3 from Phyrexian Arena. What a hit. What a hit! So if they don't kill Sorin here, they die to their Phyrexian Arena. So they have to play like Grey Merchant? Which we know is in their deck. What was that? Looks like a Black Sun Zenith. Grey Merchant, go back up to 7. They forgot to crew. Okay. Hit him down to 5. This is our turn for Obsidat. Put him down to 3. Then they go to 2 on their upkeep from Phyrexian Arena. And Obsidat trigger kills them. Sorin uptick kills them. Oh boy. Can we do it? Can we survive? The opponent is 12 cards deeper in their library than I am. Although granted, I've exiled 3 of them, but this is an amazing, amazing turn of events. We've top-decked very well. Can they stabilize? Do they have a way to sacrifice their Grey Merchant and then bring it back to gain some life? That's probably... No, that's not even enough, is it? Because the Obsidian comes back in with haste. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. Can we force a game 3? Can we please? Yes! Just force a game 3. Wow. That was gross. That was gross. Yeah, there's nothing else to say about that. Opponent's deck is really sweet. I think I just need to hit my Planeswalker. Like, if I can just hit Ashiok early, the freaking dream. But it's gonna be a little bit hard. So let's go to game 3 of the final round. Stay tuned. Round 3, game 3. We are on the draw. Our hand is fine because we're on the draw. Got some tapped lands and whatnot. We are looking for a secondary white source here, obviously. In fact, every single card in my hand is double white, but if we're able to do that, we should be good. Ooh, oh wow. I have to pay. I have to pay 2 here. The Earthquake for 1 is just brutal. God, and if we can hit a Plains next turn, the dream. Alright, well that's not a Plains, but I haven't hit a land yet in 3 draws, so I should draw land, statistically. Alright, well that's really bad for us. Crap, and they drew a Whip of Erebos too. Oh boy. Resolving Elspeth there, or just anything, would have been amazing. Okay, Profane Command. Getting back there. Glint Sleeve Artisan. Ugh, I don't really want to go for a throw with that, but if I hit a land, I really need to cast something out. Okay. Ashiok, you fit the bill. If the opponent doesn't have their Hero's Downfall, we're going to be in good shape. We hit 3 lands off the top with Ashiok. But so far, the only thing we saw that killed Ashiok is the Hero's Downfall. And they're reading the bones. Perfect. So they went bottom, top. Played a Copter. We found a white source. Ashiok uptick. Messenger, Thoughtseize, Swamp. So let's run out the land here. Let's get the... I guess we just get the Plains. Plains. I kind of want to play Flicker Wisp to block the Copter, but I suppose our Ashiok is already at 7, so it's going to take a while for them to kill it, and I'd rather just get another Planeswalker on the battlefield then. Oh wow, they're just using the whip to bring back the Guldra's assassin to crew their Copter. Ooh, lordy. This is looking really good for us, especially if I hit an untapped land next turn for Obsidat. Okay, they're attacking Elspeth. That's probably in concession to the fact that they just need to rip Hero's Downfall to kill our Ashiok. Well, that wasn't great. Also, they discarded Grizzlebrand. Alright, 2 lands and Abyssal Persecutor, the hit from the opponent. So we're going to uptick Soldier, attack them for 4, and then I'm going to Flicker Wisp our Elspeth. Not only does that increase Elspeth's loyalty by 1, but it also gives me a flying blocker for their Flicker Wisp, or sorry, for their Smuggler's Copter. Haven't made the greatest hits here off of Ashiok, but it is looking good. So they can whip back their Grizzlebrand now, but we do have an extra blocker again. Ah, Murderous Redcap. Shoot my Flicker Wisp. Okay. That's pretty good. Crew the Copter. Now they're attacking Ashiok. So Ashiok's going to go down to 7. Then I can uptick Ashiok to... Sorry, Ashiok's going down to 6. I can uptick Ashiok to 8, which is out of range of Grizzlebrand by itself. They discarded Grave Titan. Oof. Okay, there's a land for me, though. 10 cards left in their library now. Swamp, Grey Merchant, Sidisi, all good hits. Let's get an extra ground blocker. And then let's run out the Obsidat. Oh, do they have a Victim of Night? Boo, they do. Wow. I don't really think this is going to go down to damage, so I'm just going to leave back my creatures to block. But they can kill Ashiok here with Grizzlebrand and Smuggler's Copter. But they cannot draw a card with Grizzlebrand. And also, since we didn't deal with their Ever After, I guess they can't actually ever mill out, can they? Oh, boy. I don't actually know how we win this game now. Their Ever After is going to just permanently wreck me. Yeah, because they're just going to have too much life. Darn. Oh, wait, are they attacking me? Oh, they are attacking me. They're just going to hit me down to 5? Uh-oh. Well, that's not good. What do they have here? They drew 7? What is going on? Can they kill me somehow? What? What? No. They just went down to 1 card. Oh my god, if the last card is Hero's Downfall, they can't win. What? Do I just get to... Wait, what just happened? I don't know what just happened. I'm in shock. I don't know what just happened. They have 0 cards in their library. What? Oh. Oh, they didn't downfall my Ashiok. Oh, no. Oh, so they did find the downfall, but they forgot to use it. And now they're just going to die on upkeep. Oh, my gosh. That was insane. That was insane. Opponent's deck was legitimately the best mono black deck I've seen, but they forgot to Hero's Downfall my Ash. Like, first they could have attacked Ashiok, but then they forgot to Hero's Downfall it. And then they milled. Holy moly. Well, that is an amazing way to finish off this Modern Cube series. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this drafting with Numot. Again, Modern Masters 2017 is coming out tomorrow, and I'm really looking forward to draft that. But that was a crazy way to finish that draft. Please check out all of our other content here on Numot Gaming or on YouTube. This is Kenji NumotTheNummy. NumotTheNummy. I can't even say my name now. I'm so flustered. This is Kenji NumotTheNummy signing out. I'll see you guys next time. Take it easy.